pictures from Hispania, Kenya. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching to my YouTube channel. Consider subscribing it. And today's episode, I'm going to talk about the physical features that we normally have here in Africa. Despite of that, before I go far, this is my place where I'm living. This is a place where I'm staying at that tank which you are being seen there, back there. Although it's far, but here is my place. So where you see those kids, where you saw those kids, that is my door. So let's proceed and look a bit. This man of mine took me. He want to take me to a place where I'm doing my job. This is our place.
Kizungu baba.
Yeah. These are some areas that I'm trying to show you. I'm on the bike going home. As you can see, people are so busy doing their own work. Busy doing their own works. So that is my place. Look it. Maybe a bit look of that. Pita hivi.
Yo.
Yo sheri. Pale sheri ya mafuta penye umeniacha pale. Ile sheri ya mafuta.
Mbona mimi unaishi Kizungu?
That's the wood.
Roundabout.
Roundabout, yeah. The place. Okay, we are continuing with our going. We are going. This is our normal place. This is my place. Where I'm heading to. That's the place where I'm heading to. So I was trying to say that I want to show you how this town is too busy. This Sirari border, which is found in Kenya in Africa. So you can take a look of it. That. Take a bit of a look. So the physical features which I was trying to talk about that I want to share with you, for those who are watching my video YouTube channel, there is so many different physical features that we normally have in Africa. We have trees, stones, lakes, and so many other physical features that I want to show you today. On my right hand side there, we have the mango tree. Mango tree. So we are heading to a place where I'm doing this kind of job.
Unachoma mkaa.
Burning charcoal here. Burning charcoal. Yes, we have reached the destination which I do work here. So let me go. I've already shown you that is my place where I'm living. I'm doing my own jobs. This is my uncle's place, my mom's place where he came from. So you can take a little bit look at that. So thank you very much. So I was trying to say that today I want to show you some physical features that we normally have in Africa. That's my uncle cow there grazing. That is the scale, the farm scale of our uncle, where cattle are feeding. So that forest there, which I've shown you, that's the first physical features that we normally have here in Africa and all over the world, if I'm not wrong. That physical features I've mentioned or I've shown you is a forest. A forest comprises of trees, different types of trees. We have eucalyptus tree. You have eucalyptus tree. We also have Santana Camara trees. We also have a cypress tree. We also have mango tree, guava trees, avocado trees, and so many other types of trees in Africa here. And that's the first physical features which I wanna gonna talk about today. So let me take a little bit of sitting here. Let me get a little bit of sitting here, talking to you. For those who are interested to watch my YouTube, remember, when you are watching this video of mine, remember considering subscribing it, like, share, view, and comment. So, although I've shown you from the place, the first point where I came from, I was living, I showed you then our neighbors, our towns, that where am I located from, where I'm coming from. Eventually now I've come to my place where I do work, my little job, despite I have not started my job, but the only thing I have seen today, let me try to share with you, with this view, this video shot, so that you can look a little bit and be enjoying and listen to me, whatever I'm going to explain or express myself as the episode of today. And this episode of today, I said earlier that today I'm going to talk about some of the physical, not the some, but I'll talk about physical features that we normally have here in Africa, in continent, and all over the world. Although I have not take a walk in abroad countries or in anywhere place, but with me, I'm an African person, I'm an African guy from Kenya country. Let's go on and take this message which I'm trying to pass to you. So I was saying the title of this content of today is all about the physical features. So let me start with this by saying that physical features are Physical features are those features that you normally see in surround physical features, or the definition of physical features is those features that surrounded you. Surrounded you. Surrounded you. One, we have trees. Two, we have stones. Three, we have lakes. Four, we have rivers. Five, we have I've said we have trees, we have stones, we have lakes, rivers, we have hills also. We have hills, we have valleys, and so many other physical features. Even grass is a physical feature, soil is a physical feature, and so many other things that we normally have. With anything that you see surrounded you, that is a physical feature, which I'm going to pass through this message today. And I think for those who are watching me, over me, they will enjoy it, and they will comment, and you will share with me and take a better and a good look of this kind of message, which I'm trying to pass through to you. That was I was trying to give you some points of this interrogation, which I'm trying to tell you that concerning this content of today as an episode. Let us start by trees. 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 In trees with me, for my understanding, that is a physical feature. This tree, how does it help us? Remember, in these trees, we have significant advantages and disadvantages. Significance and limitations. So, in these trees that we normally have, let me go ahead and talk about this one. The first physical features which I've already mentioned it. Remember, here in Africa, generally, when I say tree, it comprises of many types of trees. We have eucalyptus tree. 2, we have Santana Camara trees. We also have cypress tree. We have guavas trees. We have also mango trees. Not popo. Popo is a fruit. Okay. Those are some of trees that I've tried to tell you that we normally have. Let us go step by step. You'll enjoy it. With these trees, all that I've mentioned above, I want to take you step by step to listen it clear and put in your mind that some of advantages and disadvantages and how they assist us. Let me start with advantages of trees that we normally have in this continent of Africa and other continents like Asia, North America, South America, Europe, and other abroad countries. I think these type of trees that I've mentioned above are likely to be seen there, if I'm not wrong. And some of them, I think, are not there, which are in this continent of Africa, Kenya. Thank you very much. These trees actually they helps. I'm talking now the advantages of these trees which I've already mentioned it. The first advantage, the first advantages of these physical feature like trees is they helps the human activities and human beings. It prevent the March wind. It prevent when the buildings are near. When you have a, like for example, you have a homestead, and you have surrounded that your homestead with some kind of trees. Those trees actually, when the rain one started raining, and actually those rain, this rain that we normally have here in Africa, they normally come with a wind blowing. When it came with a wind blowing, it seems these trees that we normally planted surrounded our homestead, it prevent that wind not to remove the iron sheets from those houses that have already constructed, and people for those houses that people are living there. Meaning it's helpful. It prevent the wind not to remove what? Ions. That's the first advantage of trees as a physical feature that we normally have here in Africa. Second advantage of trees as a physical feature, it brings a shade, a good and a nice shade to human being. Like me here, I've seated in a place where there is a good shade. You can see me clearly, and you can enjoy it by listening my content this day, which I've already prepared for you. Meaning the second advantage is shading. It's bring shading. I think to that extent you have understood my message. Third advantage of trees generally, either eucalyptus, cypress, lantana camara, guava, any kind of tree, but that tree, it's a physical feature that found in Africa. The third point, or the third advantage of these trees, it makes papers and books. Why am I saying? Let me take a deep explanation. How does they make books? When these trees, for example, eucalyptus tree, you can plant them in a large number scale. Then after planting it, you can go, after they have grown up and get up to its maturity to be cutted off, you can go and cut them into some divisions. You cut them and you put them in a lorry, or in a pickup, whichever the case, so that you can put them there. They are taken to the factory where the factory of books are being made. Then they are going there to be done, to be cutted and put in a way that it becomes a papers for writing, for papers, and also to become a books for reading. and this meaning that we are getting papers for writing from trees. Okay, that is the third advantage of trees, meaning that trees can be provide papers. After then, those papers can be gone to the factory. After going there to the factory, it actually been made, and those prominent people that you are normally look in abroad countries in this continent of Africa, in this continent of Africa, actually they are okay. I was shifting from one place to another because of the sunrise has been chomered me thoroughly. That's why I've got a bit of shift from one point to another. That is normally, I can say that what I've done there is movement from one place to another. Even you can also look there, cows are moving from one place to another when they are grazing. Okay, let us continue with our content of today. I said earlier that that is the third significant of trees as a physical feature, which I've already said that that physical feature of tree, when you cut those trees and take it to the factory, they make papers for reading and for writing. That's why you get people are in a good position in this world. They are working persons. They get their salaries and money, and they are being get very educated because they were these trees, they help them to be in a good place. That's why if you are a human being, try to respect or to prevent the cutting down of trees carelessly, and take it a good advice from me. That was the third advantage of trees as a physical feature that we normally have here in Africa. Despite of that, we also have another advantage of trees as a physical feature, and this fourth advantage of trees, actually it helps when you planted no, before that, the fourth advantage of forests or trees as a physical feature, this this message that I'm saying is the fourth advantage. And before I forgot this advantage, I can say that the fourth advantage of trees, they helps in construction and buildings, in construction of buildings, temporary houses and permanent houses. And actually trees is a good thing. I can advise you people, try to plant trees at least once a year. Even you can plant 5 goods of trees, any type of tree, 5 only. Actually, after 10 good years to come, it will take take you somewhere else, and it will help you in one way or the other. Meaning, actually, you can see that the advantages are so many. That's why I've said that my friends and guys who are watching over me here, take a bit of look and continue. Never get tired of me by when I'm explaining to you and I'm giving you a good explanation and the facts that I normally know about these the physical features that we normally have here in Africa. Okay, I've said that we have all. It helps those trees. They help us in construction, in constructing houses, buildings, huge buildings like gorofas. eh, They helps in those constructions. They also helps to make timbers from those trees, and also they helps in making frames of houses, frames of windows and doors. Those are the advantage or the some things that we are normally found or get from that physical feature that I've mentioned earlier, tree. The tree, not one tree, but trees, and even you can plant in a big, huge number scale. It will be called a forest, but you can put that on your mind that that is the physical feature that we normally have here in the Africa as a continent of this world. Okay, the rest I can say is that also another explanation or another advantage of this tree. This tree, another advantage is helps prevent for plantation. Human meaning, I can say that, let me put it, it helps in human activities. In human activities like practicing soil erosion. It prevent also soil erosions, and those narrows not be founded in that area. And at the same time, also its advantage, it helps for putting fence to put on your boundary, where if you are boundary with other friends of yours or brothers or relatives or any person who is being lived within your place where you are there. At the same time, what I can say is that those are some. I've already mentioned like almost 10. I've almost mentioned like almost 10. Sorry. I've mentioned almost 8 advantage or significance of forest as what? As a physical feature, where a physical feature that which is being found here in the continent of this country of Kenya. Remember, I'm talking from Kenya, where I am. Where I am. You guys, be serious. Take this text, this message clearly. Share with all those people who don't know the significance of this, of those trees that I've mentioned above and acted as a physical feature that is being found in Africa. That's the first part of mine, which I've talked about although I've stand there to those physical feature, that physical feature itself of trees, for a long period of time, explaining to you so that you can get that physical feature, how it helps the human being, and how the advantages. But I've not talked about the limitation, disadvantage, although I know some disadvantage are they're not likely to be so much like advantages. So let me take you a little bit so that you can hear about the disadvantage. The first disadvantage of trees as a physical feature, actually the first disadvantage, when you planted that, not you planted, after is being raised up. When, for example, you have a scale, when you have a scale of farming, that you have planted some maize, for example, you have planted a maize, then you have covered, you have put a fence by those types of trees, like eucalyptus tree. Actually, that eucalyptus tree will take a high amount of water, consuming from the top, from the bottom of the soil up to towards it, towards those trees, meaning that they take much much water from the soil. So when you are planted some crops there, like maybe maize, they can't do well there because they take much water. That is the first disadvantage of eucalyptus tree and generally trees which are normally located or all over this continent of Africa. Before I forgot, my friend, although I finished talking about advantage, but there is another advantage I've come across to my mind, that this type of trees, actually they used as a firewood. They used like a firewood. We use those firewoods for cooking food, taking delicious food, and take a little bit of getting that heat for warming our bodies. Actually, trees as a physical feature is so nice. That's why I've said that it has good and a large amount of advantages compared to compared to disadvantages of forest as a physical feature. That I what I was forgotten. I was leaving that mind, but the more I will tell you, or I will try to deliver this message to you. So take it seriously and know that this forest as a physical feature is a good one, and it helps everything, and it has a large number of advantages compared to how you think, you as my friend there of mind. And then I can say I've talked about advantages, and the second one I've talked about the disadvantage, that how it loses to this continent of Africa. That's why I can emphasize on telling those people who are cutting down trees without planting not to destroy them. That is my advice to those people who are watching me are good people of taking caring of forest as a means of not as a means, taking care of forest as a good physical feature that which is being found here in this continent. Okay, another physical feature, the second physical feature, although I've talked about forest, that's the first physical feature that we normally have here in Africa. I've talked about advantages and how it helps us. I can summarizing for those who people have not heard me. I've said concerning trees as a physical feature, actually it has factors which helps the human being and generally helps in this continent. I've talked about that we got the advantages that we normally got from these trees. One, we use them as firewoods. Two, we use it brings we get peppers from trees as a physical feature. It also helps in the constructions of buildings, houses, like permanents and semi-permanents. That is what I can say. And also I've talked about it brings shade, and also it it helps to make fence, a good fencing. And at disadvantages, it causes soil erosion and human activities. So that was I was trying to summarize for those who people have not yet got anything from that point of mine. So not me lay on one side of this type of trees, that although it's a physical feature. That's why I've said that today we are talking about physical features that which are being found here in Africa. Africa where? Africa, Kenya, and all over the world, if I'm not wrong. Okay, guys, let us go on and look another point of mine about stones. Stones, that's the another step. That is the point of mine, or second point of mine, that stones, we have smaller stones and the larger stones. Those also is a physical feature that is being found here in Africa, Kenya, and all over the world, if I'm not wrong. How does stones help us, and how we can put this stone as a let me say this. Stones also, they have advantages and disadvantages. Although these things which I'm talking today, we have large amount of advantages, advantages of what? Of stones, of stones compared to disadvantages of stones. First advantage of stones. Stones, if when stones actually, they helps in the constructions of houses, big houses, mostly permanent houses. That is what I can say. It helps in the construction of houses. Houses, my friends. Houses, not house, a house, or a hut, not a hut, but a big houses that which you can construct that house, if you want a house of 3 rooms, 5 rooms, 10 or 20 rooms, you need to have some stones, small you can go to a place where you can buy those stones. Then you come and you take up you you persuading them into small pieces. Then you put them as a foundation. You put them on those foundation that you are making there, so that you can put those stones down there, mixing up with the cement and sand soil, and then you can use them so that when you start when you started making or constructing your house, so that can be strong and last for long, over 10 years, 20 years to come. Try to use stones, meaning stone, it helps for constructions of houses. Thank you very much for those who are listening to me clearly and clearly and clearly and clearly. So, another advantage of stones, actually, when, for example, you have make a hole, a borehole, a borehole there, and you have not got water actually in your borehole. You got some stone there, down there actually, because when you make a big lawn borehole, and remember down there are some stones. When you hit those stones, actually they will show you a lineup how to get water. You can go with a hammer. A hammer. You hit that stone thoroughly at once, then the water will flow, will come out. The water will come out, then meaning that we are getting water from those stones that which are being found on the boreholes there, down there. That's the second advantage of stones that we normally have here in Africa and all over the world. For those who are making those boreholes, I think we have already experienced those things that which I've tried to mention to you. Okay, although I don't have disadvantage of this one, but by the time I will be talking about other physical features that we normally have here in Africa, if I will remember anything concerning stones, that is the disadvantage, I will tell you. That's why I've told you that don't go far, listen to me, check this picture, this video of mine, and a good look, and get this message clearly and share to your friends, to your families, and any others. And I will be very excited when you will share to your friends, and when you will comment, and when you will subscribe to this YouTube channel of mine. I am Rogers from Hispania, Kenya. Big name. So let us go and now and look for a third, not a third, yeah, it's not third physical feature that we normally have here in Africa as a continent. The third physical feature that we normally have here is lakes. Let me put these lakes and rivers together. Together. In the big towns, like Mombasa, that which is being found here in Kenya, Africa, and all over the world, we have lakes, rivers, and oceans. As we have Atlantic Ocean, and also we have here some Indian Ocean. We also have, those are the ocean that which I normally have. We also have some rivers and lakes. We have Lake Victoria, and this Lake Victoria as a physical feature that we normally have here in Africa. Lake Victoria actually is bounded in 3 major countries which are located in East Africa countries, which is Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Meaning that those countries are landlocked countries. When I'm talking that landlocked countries, those are the countries that which are being locked with water. Water is being surrounded, meaning that those countries are on the middle, and the lake is that surrounded those countries. After that, I was taking just a look of something behind, but that is the fourth what? I was talking about fourth physical feature that we normally have here in Africa and all over the world, which is lakes and other those things that I've mentioned, that oceans and rivers. I've already mentioned about the lake, the oceans that we have 2 oceans, Atlantic Ocean and Indian Ocean, which is being found here in Africa. We also have rivers and lakes, and I move on by talking that we have some lakes. We have first lake is Lake Victoria. This Lake Victoria is located in East Africa. When I say East Africa, there are some countries that which are being found there, like Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, which is the landlocked countries that is being already surrounded by. When I say that landlocked countries, these are countries that are being in the middle of the lake, in the middle of the lake, as Lake Victoria that I've mentioned above. And that's Lake Victoria. Actually, before it were called Lake Victoria, earlier in the ancient time, in the year 1957, by the time this white person known Joseph Thompson, John Ludingcraft, John Rebman, Florence, Joseph, and Henry, Tom Henry. The white peoples came. The whites of Britain and Germany came here in this country of Kenya. When they came here in Africa, they came through Indian Ocean along towards to Lake Victoria, where they settled at the first time, where they named that place that physical feature of as a Lake Victoria to be known like Port Florence. They named that place that Port Florence, but later on we call that place Lake Victoria, whereby they settled there for a long period of time. Then they named that place that way. So, although I was not talking about those Europeans people, the white people who came here in Africa, Kenya, but I was trying to explain for you, for those who are watching over me, that this message, you can get it clearly, because today today's content, I think, will be very, very, very nice to you, for those who people are watching of me, and they will share many things to your friends, and for those who they were knowing nothing concerning the physical features, and for those people who are over watching me here, they have never get a clear clip like this one, that concerning physical features that we normally have here in the world and all over. So that was the second type of the physical feature that we normally have here in Africa that I was mentioning. I put those ones in one class that I want to talk about oceans and lakes and rivers as a second step of the information, because I started with some trees and those trees, okay, and I finished telling you. Okay, to this matter about these lakes, like physical as a physical feature, its disadvantage. When you go there to the river, you can go there to get showered. You shower there to those rivers, lakes, and oceans. That's the disadvantage one, meaning that you can't. That nobody is putting you a little amount of water for washing your body. You are washing your body with a large amount of water that you are being required. Meaning that nobody is forcing you. Why are you washing your body there, or why are you swimming there? You see, why are you washing your utensils there, or in the rivers or in the lakes? You see, like there is a community here in Kenya, the Luo community. They usually go to the river to wash their clothes, wash their bodies, and swim. You see, meaning that the disadvantage of these physical features that we normally have here in Africa, actually, they are so good and so many. And actually, I think this content of today, you will enjoy listening to me, and you will get these messages that I'm trying to deliver, that they are the fact message that I'm passing to you, for those people who are watching over me. Thank you very much, and may take you a little bit for another step of what? Another step of a physical feature. Before I move, please, sorry, very much. Before I move, another advantage of these oceans. Actually, when you go the oceans, you get some people having their boats. They have their boats, melis. They are harvesting fish. They are harvesting fish from the lake. When they got those fish, big fish there, because there are different types of fish there in the lakes. We have tilapia, carpenters into bracket, daga. Carpenter, these are the southern South Africans. They named daga carpenter. Also, you can harvest there, you can get there, so that you can cook them for human consumption, and you can be satisfied as a delicious meal to African people, to African culture, because you can use them for eating by ugali, by rice and chapati and other type of food that we normally have here in Africa and all over the world. You can share with me this story if it's good for you, to whom you are listening to me. That's why I've said take a look of it and be keen of listening and comment. Please, 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 please comment and share, and take a look a bit of this message which I have already prepared for you, my guys of the abroad countries and other countries that which I have not mentioned, like Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and all those countries that I normally know or I have not mentioned above. Okay, take a little before I go outdoor of matter of this content. I was talking about that the significance of Indian of oceans, lakes, rivers as a physical feature which is being found here in Africa, as the significance, the advantages that I've mentioned. Some tools, I've mentioned two of them as advantages of lakes. Okay, and also I have not talked about disadvantage. The disadvantage of these lakes and rivers actually, when you go there to swim, if you don't know how to swim, actually the water, when you go to a deeper place where you don't reach, actually that water will push you, and you'll end up drinking some cups of water there until you get dead alive or dead alive. So you need to take care where you are going, when you are going to swim those large amount of water. If you are not good for swimming, because swimming is a part of human being, is a part of enjoying and making your body to be good for swimming, so to be healthy and your body to be to be smart. So thank you and for listening to that point. So the next step, what I can say is that I want to talk about disadvantages of not disadvantages. Yeah? Okay, I was trying to talk about the advantage, although I have not finished some advantages of lakes and rivers and lakes that which we normally have here in the continent of Africa. So another advantage is that of water as a physical feature that we normally have here in Africa. We use water for drinking, because actually in human being, actually water covers a large amount space. It covers almost 86% in water, in the body. Water, when you drink water, meaning that water is very important to human body, to human being, whether they are white people or black people. Water is very, very significant to them. Okay, and also I've talked about this disadvantages of the water or lakes or rivers that which are being found in this continent as a physical feature. So that is the fourth physical feature that we normally have here in this continent. And also we have vegetation. When I say vegetation, I mean the green, the green pasture, that which you look when you see any green pasture, eh? Green grass, I mean the green grass, that is the physical feature. This physical feature of a grass, as the fifth point, is that it helps the animals like goats, cows, camels, donkeys, sheep, for grazing. They help them for grazing, and for, because even themselves, they're omnivorous animals that they must feed on the green pasture like this, that which we normally have here in Africa. And because there are some areas that which are arids and semi-arids, people, even animals, they do suffer, because this green pasture also, it also is significant, or it's very important to human activities and human and consumption, not consumption, for use, and also they're good for animal for grazing, because those animals that I've mentioned above, also they feed on that type of pasture. And also advantage, and the second advantage is that from the green pasture, before I forgot, this pasture actually makes the environment, the environment to be good and nice, for meaning that you can sit there, down there, for that green pasture, green grass, because even you can take a snap there, down there, when you are walking or sitting there looking for some physical features and all those things that I've mentioned, meaning that here in Africa, people are not suffering actually. Try, you people of abroad countries, try to come to these countries like Kenya, Ghana, Tanzania, and other countries which I have not mentioned above. Try to come and look and take a good look and take a trip here and look for these areas that we normally here lived. You'll get that these places are very, very, very nice, and people are enjoying their life, for those people who are living here in Africa as a continent. That's why I've said that a green grass also is a physical feature which is being found here, and it also have its advantages. But meaning that those things, those aspects which I've mentioned up earlier, that pasture, trees, stones, lakes, rivers, actually they have a large amount of significance compared to the limitations which I've mentioned above or talked about. And also we have some physical feature also. Third, as a last physical feature, which I'm trying to, I want to say now, we have soil. Soil also is a physical feature. Soil is a physical feature. This is not last, but this is the last but not least. After this, I'm going to talk about the last one and then conclusion. This soil, about soil, we have three. Let me shorten and say that in soil we have three types. It comprises of three types of soil that which we normally have in this continent, and it acts and it has its part as a physical feature that we normally have here in Africa and all over the world. This soil, there are three types. We have loam soil, clay soil, and sand soil. Clay soil actually it's used for making pots and cups and traditional utensils, and those pots which they are being used for carrying water and put the water for drinking for future use. And even also there are these pots which are being made from the clay soil are being made for cooking. These pots from this clay soil. That's the point of that which I've mentioned, that clay soil is the hypothesis. And the second type of soil is that as a physical feature which are being found in Africa here, we have sand soil. This sand soil actually sand soil is a big is a it helps in construction of houses, putting rough casting, and making floors in the houses when mixing up with cement, meaning that it is used for constructing houses. Not only sand soil, but also the clay, no, the loam soil. Some of the loam soil. But generally in loam soil is used in cultivation. For plantation of crops such like maize, beans, guavas, not guavas, I've said maize, beans, arrowroots, cassava, yams, and so many other things, meaning that I've decided to classify those types of soil which we normally have here in the continent of Africa, that we have the clay and sand and loam soil, and there where they are being used. And because there is some division, that's why I've decided to subdivide them into three groups, because they are in three groups, but all in all we call them a soil, and soil perform its work as a physical feature which is being found here in Africa. Last but not least, take a look of that point of mine and think this: how Kenya people or African people, how they are enjoying their life with this physical feature. Actually, they feel like they were blessed with Almighty Father to this continent, which is very, very blessed with those physical features other continents they don't have. That's why I said to this video that try to come to Kenya and look Africa, how people of Africa they survive and live a good life which other people they don't live. Meaning that although that's why when you see your continent have good advantages from the physical features, meaning that they do live long life compared to white peoples. But I'm sorry to say that because that is the fact, that people of Africa, actually the African people, they do live long life, over 40 years, 30 years, 50 years, even 100 years. But the white peoples, they can't live to that extent of life, which I've not told you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for those who are watching over this short video, and take a little bit of look and good, and you'll share it to me if the message is very clarifying you or feeding you. Take it seriously and take a big look to that accent which I've tried to talk about those physical features because I started with the trees. I talked about also about lakes, rivers, and oceans as the physical features. I also talked about stones, and here also I have talked about soil as a physical feature, and also now I'm heading to talk about hills, and I'm going to talk about hills and valleys and what? I'm going to talk about hills, mountains, that and valleys. That I'm going to put as one point so that I go to the conclusion. Here in Africa also we have significant about the hills and what? And those other things which I've mentioned above. In hills, it prevents the blowing of the wind from one place to another to avoid the heavy rainfall to fall to those people who are living in the semi-arid areas and other areas that which are being located here in Africa as a continent. That is the first significance of hills or mountains. Although here in Africa we have some hills and some mountains which are being found here in the continent of Africa. Before I forgot, actually here in Africa we have the longest and the tallest mountain in Africa, which is being called the Everest Mountain, Mount Everest Mountain. That is the highest mountain that we normally have here in this continent of Africa. We also have some smaller mountain that which is being found in the countries which are being located here in Africa, like Tanganyika. We have the Kilimanjaro mountain. In Kenya we have Mount Elgon, Mount Suswa in Uganda, Mount Elgon in Kenya, Mount Kenya in Kenya. Those are the physical features. As you can see, actually try to come to these areas of Africa and take a bit look of those physical features. You'll enjoy it, you people of abroad countries. Thank you very much for listening to that point of mine. Also, that's why I've taken this point to take those hills and mountains to be in one position, and you can enjoy listening to that explanation which I'm trying to put across to you for those who are watching over me here. Also, here in Africa, also, yes, here is in Africa, when I've talked about the mountains, also mountains and hills, and here place where I am, we have Taranganya Hills. That actually is a good one as a type of physical feature. Yeah, that's why I'm telling you people who are watching over me here, try to come to my place and take a good look for those physical features which I have mentioned above. To my conclusion, I can say is that thank you very much for watching to my YouTube channel. Try to subscribe it and view, share. And I was trying, before I move, I get moved from this, I end up finishing this content of today. Just humbling you people and advising you people, try to come to these countries of Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, which are being found in this continent of Africa. Try to come and look for for those physical features which I've mentioned and which I've not mentioned above, but you'll take a good, interesting story this as a content of today and get it clearly and share to those people who have not looked for this information which I've already passed through to you. Thank you very much and get a big look of that. Thank you guys for those who are watching over me. Bye bye.